What length you thinking? I'm thinking like dark.
Dark. Yeah, texture top.
Texture, but my only worry is right here. I can make it work. Let's get it.
Do your thing, bro.
It's gonna be crazy, bro. All right, YouTube. So this was a challenging haircut. I'm gonna break down everything I do, why I do it. First things first, soak his hair. All right, soak your client. It's gonna be water dripping down his face. So what? So what? It ain't gonna hurt him. So what? You want to get the hair very, very wet. I'm just combing it into different positions, seeing how his hair reacts. He's also a barber. Shout out to him. He's actually gonna be working with me soon, Barberhead Chris. So I decided comb it all forward, and then I'm gonna separate it. So this is my profile guide. Now notice, once I make those first cuts, I'm seeing how the hair sits. So you see how I'm playing with it? I'm seeing how it sits. His hair is very thick, very shaggy. So we wanted to go for a more textured look up top. So when I did cut his hair short, we do like an 8 guard against the grain, a 5 with the grain. We wanted to just go with shears. So I made sure the hair was sitting how I wanted it. And then I said, let's do it. So I'm gonna cut it kind of like a roundish, squarish, more so on the roundish side, a little more squarish in the back. And I'm just checking for my guide before I cut. That's it. I'm using 5-inch shears here. And the reason this was a challenging cut, his hairline is very difficult. His hair moves a lot. He has many different cowlicks in the front of his hairline, but we kept it thick so that it won't expose them. But his front hairline kind of grows out poke straight, like bone straight. Very tricky. Again, checking for that guide, then we're gonna make our cuts. And for this, I'm just getting the length that I kind of wanted. And then we're gonna go back, kind of set the fringe how we want it, and then point cut the top. Because what we're doing now, we're not really adding texture, we're just precision cutting it, getting it to that, desirable length that we want. But even still, when I'm cutting, I'm not making sure it's super precise. I'm just following my guide and cutting it. And any inconsistencies I do see, I'll go back and fix it briefly. And for the area near his taper, you see how the hair is kind of overlapping. I didn't show it that much, but I just did some forward graduation. Kind of how I'm doing now, but I went a little tighter to clear that up. You don't need a guard to do that. You just do some forward graduation. That'll fix it right up. So this is the part I start just point cutting it. Point cutting, you're just cutting in chunks of the hair, not really taking off length, focusing more on texture. So that rugged look, that not more so uneven, but just that textured, feathered look. That's what we're going for. So I'm gonna comb his fringe forward. And then I went ahead and washed his hair just to kind of reset the growth patterns to where the hair naturally wants to go. And we're gonna start our taper. So, and a mistake I used to do, guys, if you're a barber watching this, really, really listen to what I'm saying. If you're doing scissor over comb without doing forward graduation, you're lost in a way. I was doing this. If you look at some of my old scissor cuts, I just scissor over comb, a big bulky guideline. Like, nah, you have to forward graduation that. Like right here, I'm scissor over combing the remaining parts that I missed with the forward graduation. I'm not scissor over combing an entire guideline. Can you do that? Sure. as long as you know how to do forward graduation. It's important to learn these techniques. That's why I spent all that money, went to London, learned this stuff. Because I knew in order to be in this industry, I have to know that stuff. There are some barbers who are comfortable with just knowing one type of hair. Not me. I can't do that. And the type of taper we're going for, very tight blend. And we're still gonna go close around his ears, bring it in a little close. Cause you see how it's still a little bulky? We're gonna bring that area in a little bit, which I think will make his head shape look better. We're gonna do the same thing for this side. And I'm gonna do something very unique with the top. I'm gonna show you guys kind of why I left it a bit longer than what most people would have, but I think it came out so dope. So dope. And you guys see the highest guard we're even using is a 3. That's all you need. Everything else is scissors. Now I'm gonna contradict myself in a little bit, but I'm gonna explain why. It'll make sense. Every haircut should be custom. So you see a lot of barbers, they just slap the same cut on everyone or whatever their client. That's why it really is important to go to a barber many times before, like say you're going to a wedding and you want a wedding day haircut. I've had people come to me for the first time for their wedding, like, I need to learn your hair. You can't just come to me for your wedding. Sure, it'll come out dope, but your best cut by me is gonna be that second, third cut once I'm really start to learn your head. I've cut this guy many times. I know his head. I know how his hair works. Very thick, very shaggy. So I know what works for him, and I know what does not work. So I'm gonna throw in some lines right here just to make the taper pop. This is called just like a nape/neckline. You see I got the Apple Watch. You know, we monitoring the recordings with it. That's it. Look at that. How convenient is that? I don't have to check if it's recording and stuff, because sometimes it'll just stop recording. And for those of you who are new, I shoot everything on my phone. So I have a camera, sure, but I think haircuts look better on phones. So here's where I contradict myself. I'm taking a 5. Why? I don't want to do shears on the front. I risk taking off too much. We already set the fringe kind of how I want it by just freehanding it with the shears. The 5 is still going to be careful of his cowlicks. And then I ran it over with a 3. So I'm going to start in the middle. You see how his hair reacts when it hits the trimmer? It moves. Why? Because it's on the straighter side of hair. And I didn't use hairspray or none because I want the hair to be in its natural position. And I'm basically covering up his old haircut with this one. He was getting an undercut. How is an undercut cut? It's in the name. Under all the hair. So now this is kind of like an overcut because all this hair is laying over the undercut where he was shaving his hairline. All this new hair is laying over it. So now we're just shaping up this new line. We're creating a new silhouette. That's it. now after this, there will be no more undercut because all this is gonna grow over it. We're gonna spray a little bit of enhancements, just really on the vertical bar. Just so it can look sharper and so it can match. Well, he likes enhancements. Like I said, he's a barber, so he knew pretty much what he wanted. This was my recommendation for him, to get a high taper and a textured top. I told him it looked best if he got it textured. I think his head looks weird when it's too low. It needs to be cut with scissors. Even if he does go shorter, I still would cut it with shears. So I'm gonna style it with some just styling cream. And now we're gonna blow dry it in a very funky way, which I think came out very, very dope. So you see how I'm kind of like flicking my wrist. And now we're gonna style it with our pocket comb.
It's pretty long too.
I look like a new man, bro.
Yeah.
So this is the before, and this is the after. I think this was crazy. It was very fun, very difficult also. But yeah, it's your boy Foreign. I'm out. Peace.